there's not going to be a cold open or title sequence or so-and-so lose today. There's not really any point. The joke that you'll get today, I'll tell you, if you're here for the jokes, here you go. Here it is. I'm wearing this shirt because they're ready. They're ready, and I want to be ready too. They got ready. Well, the second we hit game 82, they got ready. So I don't want to be left out. I have this nice Hawaiian shirt. I like it. I think it'll look good. Hopefully it'll work in Cancun. I know Hawaii, wrong ocean, but I just want to be ready. I want to be ready to go with them. I already got my bag packed, and I know they do. So Bees lose 4-3, an absurd score for the game we watched in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals in Buffalo. Goals were scored in order by Morgan Geekie, Elias Lindholm, Tage Thompson, Matthias Samuelsson, Alex Tuck, and David Pastrnak. The win goes to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who had 17 saves on 20 shots for an .850 save percentage. The loss to Jeremy Swayman, 34 saves, 37 shots, .919 save percentage. I recorded the entire game, did play-by-play for the whole game. I do the play-by-play mostly for fun. It's not like I anticipate using it. If that's something you guys would ever want to see, I'd totally live stream a game, or I could post the full at some point. Maybe not at this one. I'd want to polish a little more what I do. But I did the play-by-play for the whole game. I recorded the whole game and my reactions. So anyway, here's a summary of what happened in that game through those. On to start for the Bruins is Zacha against Thompson. Zacha wins the faceoff, and the Bruins start with the puck. Power to find Thompson coming down the right wing with a little room. He shoots just wide. Might have had a chance. It goes up into the netting. Oh, man. But the puck will come out to center ice, where it cannot be played on 2 attempts by Andrew Peeke, who goes behind the boards but turns it over. Doan gets his pocket picked by Zadorov. My goodness, a horrible sequence from Andrew Peeke as the puck goes all the way down. That will be icing. Oh, murderous hit at the blue line as the Bruins cleared the zone. Play continues. It was played with a high stick, but delayed offside. The Sabres continue. Tage Thompson moving down the right wing with some room. He shoots. Saved by Swayman. Smothered again. The Bruins allowing Tage Thompson on consecutive offensive zone trips to step through on the right side and get a good look at the goal. I don't understand. He's fast. Do you not know that? Watch the tape. Dumped in again. Not as far as to be icing. And so it's played around by Zadorov. Played off the boards again, and the Bruins will step out. Zadorov receives a pass from Pastrnak. Back to Pastrnak, stepping over the right side. Bruins with a little momentum forward. They shoot. It won't go. Geekie shot. He scores! Morgan Geekie! And the Boston Bruins will take the lead in a period where they've been physically dominated, but actually got maybe the better chances in the O-zone. 2-line pass won't work for Buffalo, so it's played off the left side, but turned over by Peeke, who is having... His very name was a poison to me. He's having a horrible game. Yoki Haryu's been playing well. I do not get this one. Buffalo moving down the left wing to Thompson. Thompson's in front. He tries to stuff it in on Swayman. Swayman holding the pad, and Swayman gets pushed into the net. That is no goal. Yeah, the ref immediately waves it off. Swayman very obviously pushed into the goal. And now, are we going to go? Could we go? Are we going to go? I don't think anyone's going to go. Bruins win the face-off and immediately dump it all the way behind the goal. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen plays it off to Bowen Byram behind the goal. So Byram will step through. He will find a man streaking down the right wing. That is Doan. Doan drops it off for McLeod, who's coming through with a lot more speed. The second unit on. McLeod with a lot of speed. He takes it in front. He shoots. Saved by Swayman. What did I say at the start of the series? What did my friends say at the start of the season? Boston will go as far as Swayman takes them. Whoa. Man, several times in this game, multiple different skaters now, we have allowed them to come down the right side of the ice. Right side is the offense. The right side of the ice and get right in front and get a decent scoring chance out of it. And Swayman's had to bail us out. Not good enough. Not good enough with that. He finds Lindholm coming down the right side. Lindholm plays it all the way around the boards. In goes Geekie hard. He wins it for Minton. Minton up to Pastrnak. I guess we are changing the line. Pastrnak shot. It goes wide. Down into the corner now is McAvoy. McAvoy finds Minton with a little bit of space. 10 seconds to go. Minton steps in. Throws it across Geekie. Takes a second. He hesitates. It won't go. Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck. And Geekie watches the period expire. Had a wide, empty net with the puck on his stick. I don't know what happened. Geekie puts the puck ahead to Pastrnak, who's onside. Pastrnak backhand. He tries to stuff it. It won't go. I'm not convinced he was on anyway. But the Sabres thwart another good scoring chance for the Bruins. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen that time sealing it off. Actually, it might have been Power. Oh, no, that was on. It might have been Power who got a stick in there. No, it was Pasta stick handled way, way too close into Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
possession. Peak now behind the goal to claim it. He plays it around the left boards, but it won't go away. Get him off the ice. Scratch him next game, please. Sabres with a chance. Pass it across. Shot. No, he fans on the one-timer. That was, I believe, Doan who could not get it to go. Ooh, the Bruins now being outshot 20-10 with 9 minutes and 36 seconds away in the period. We will go to a commercial break, and the Bruins maintain a lead. Aspie Hole with an excellent play on the back check to break it up and keep the Bruins lead intact. Breakaway for Pasta. Will he score? God, no, he won't. Can he? He's just brutal shooting right now. When was his last goal? I'm certain I've covered one. I'm certain I've covered a game where Pasta scored. But oh my God. Could have been a hook on Zaka. I don't know. Could have been holding the stick on Peak. And then Pasta shoots it right at Luukkonen. It's not even a particularly guilesome shot or well placed. It's just, man, it's agonizing. He's supposed to be one of our guys. Pastrnak holding the puck. Really needs something more out of him. Pastrnak will get the puck. No, he'll turn the puck over as he tries to get it to Hampus Lindholm. What's the best thing that'll happen either if it gets to Hampus Lindholm? Hampus Lindholm will have the puck. Do we consider that a win? Penalty upcoming against the Bruins, so 6 men will be on the ice for the Sabres in a matter of moments. Tuck throws it in front. It won't go, and the Bruins will pick it up. Peak will touch the puck to stop the play, and he may also go to the box. It looks like he will. Get him off the ice. He cannot play another game. I was not a Peak hater. Honestly, I didn't really get it. I thought he was interchangeable with any of the other guys that you had. Oh my, no chance they're calling that what, a hook? All right, well, I mean, they got some holding. Okay, I don't know. Looked like how Tage Thompson's a giant. It looks like how you play it, but okay. But if this penalty's bad, so be it. He's been horrible. Just 3 turnovers in our own zone in 1 period. Yoki Haru or Harris, you can pick. Are you having fun? If this is your first Bruins playoff game, I'm going to include this in the video. If this is your first Bruins playoff game, are you having fun? I'll get ready for this for the rest of your life. It pretty much always feels like this. Not like exactly this, there'll be different flavors of this, but it's like this. End of 2. Bruins still lead 1-0, getting outshot to hell. We're finally showing up a little in the physical game, thanks to Zadorov, who thought it would be anyone else. I said in one of my earlier videos, if you think you're going to win a series by winning games 1-0, you have another thing coming to you. Series, yeah. But for today, maybe we can. Let's see. Pastrnak back behind the goal. He is attacked by Power. Power and Byram both on for Buffalo. Up to Zadorov at the point. Zadorov over to Peak. Peak throws it in front. It won't go all the way through. Geeky collects the puck on the left circle. He throws it behind the goal for Pastrnak. Pastrnak collects it up to Elias Lindholm. Elias Lindholm up to Peak at the point. Peak holds the line. Peak plays it down around the boards. Back to Pastrnak behind the goal. Pastrnak to Geeky. Geeky shot won't go. Lindholm starts. Score! Score! Elias Lindholm, after a great sequence of possession in the Bruins zone, finishes the goal, and the Bruins take a 2-0 lead just a minute into the 3rd period. Wow, I did not expect that. I don't want to speak for you, but the Bruins had a pretty rough-looking second, lucky to get out of it with a lead, and then come back looking excellent to start the 3rd. Sabres with a chance, no. Oh, but the Bruins fail to clear the puck. That's McAvoy. Shot by Byram, and it's deflected wide. I don't actually know who caught a piece of it. But Sabres tuck it in short side. Tage Thompson. Oh, God, that sequence was brutal. McAvoy is lost. There's now a tussle after. Maybe a little bit of that heart while the puck's in play. And with 8 minutes to go, we have a game. Peak gets manhandled behind the goal. Shoved down by Tuck. Tage Thompson shoots, scores. 2-2. Oh my God, watching everyone. Peak kind of just hesitates with the puck. It gets taken off of him. Oh, we're not going to see the rest of the replay. But yeah, Peak won't be in the lineup next game. He simply can't be. Swayman goes behind the puck to boards to get it, but Lindholm fans on the puck. Chance in front, shot, score. Buffalo score. Oh mon Dieu, je ne peux croire ce que j'ai vu avec mes yeux. C'est... Oh... Bruins have pulled the goalie. 6 attackers on. Middlestat throws it across. No one really in particular was there to get it, but Middlestat will get it at the point. Puck's still kind of bouncing around at the point. Bruins haven't been able to fish it out of a tough area. A lot of Sabres now around the puck. Tage Thompson plays it off the boards all the way to Tuck on a breakaway. He will slot it home. Buffalo 4, Bruins 2, and the Sabres will win Game 1 at home. Morgan Geekie now on the ice. Is he an extra attacker? Did the Bruins pull the goalie again? Buffalo shot. They did pull the goalie again. Buffalo shot is wide. It won't go for icing. McAvoy will leave it behind him for Hampus Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm will find Huznick-Dinov. No, he won't. Puck will go down for icing. Swayman will have to come back. Why bother? Why bother? Pull Swayman. You think we're getting... I mean, never give up. Well, you did. You did. You had one good play in the last 2 periods. You scored. And then just... the talent isn't there. I mean, certainly the decision-making isn't there, but the talent isn't there. We're pulling the goalie again. 25 seconds? What's going to happen? Lindholm is dragged down. A penalty for Buffalo. Oh, yeah. In 18 seconds. Well, that'll be Thompson who goes. Hey, I'll probably try to include this too. If this is your first Bruins game, this is what it's like. You'll watch this game 1,000... Not your first Bruins game, your first Bruins postseason game. You'll watch this game 1,000 times before you watch a different one. This team in the clutch, oh my God. Oh my God. When the chips are down, if they have a lead, God forbid, I'd rather trail. 10 seconds left. Pastrnak misses the puck. Score. Bruins score. Yay! Yay! Bruins score! Power play percentage is up. Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Why not? Why not? I'm not going to need it for overtime, right? What could Marco Sturm possibly be saying to them? There are 6 seconds left. You win the face-off, you get into the blue line, you take an insane shot from the point. How did that go in? Whose goal is that? There's no way that's Pasternak's. That'll annoy me too. They're looking at it like his pastas. 7 seconds left. Never mind. That's plenty of time. Face-off is won by Boston to no one. Back behind the goal. 3 seconds. 2, 1, and none. The Bruins, after leading 2-0, give up 3 goals in the span of fewer than 5 minutes to lose Game 1 of this series.
Please excuse the new wardrobe. The A&W Zero Sugar Cream Soda that I opened exploded, so I had to change. Fortunately, I always keep a Hawaiian in reserve. Yeah, I feel like I kind of covered all the major points in those clips. Why don't we let somebody else talk? Michael DiPietro Lover on Instagram has something to say, and it's his question of the day. Which player or players need to step up? Step up, I believe, should apply specifically to players who are expected to perform at a particularly high level. I wouldn't say Hagens, right, needs to step up. I wouldn't even say Lindholm or Peak need to step up. They need to perform at an NHL level. Any NHL level will do. Step up is for players from whom we expect a lot. I thought that our 2 best players, 2 best skaters, let's say, because I don't want to group Swayman in, didn't really play their best today. McAvoy was okay. I thought he was poor on the first Buffalo goal. Pastrnak, really, though, I think is the guy you have to look for. I know he had a goal and an assist. The assist might have had 2 assists, actually, because he got the puck to Geekie. And then Geekie shot, and it popped back out to Lindholm, and I don't think possession changed, so he might have had a secondary assist. I don't know if he had a goal and 2 assists, whatever. but there was no tape-to-tape beautiful vision pass there, and the goal was fluky and meaningless. And the bigger problem, and the thing you'll remember about his performance in this game, was going 0 for 2 on the breakaways. NHL goalies are good. You're not always going to score on the breakaway. The puck is a bouncy thing. Sometimes you'll lose a little handle. You might lose an edge, whatever. But this team is very sensitive to the consequences of missed breakaways. It destroyed the last generation of our franchise. And your $11 million elite scoring winger, who only slotted 29 goals, had a great campaign with assists, but only slotted 29 goals this year, I think you need him to step up in those moments and to find a way to put it in, or at least find a way to get robbed and not kind of just weakly go to a backhand that's too close to the goalie and doesn't do anything, or shoot it smooth at him. So Pasta, I think, should step up, especially if he ever wants that C. Remember when I came up with the 5 keys for success for the Bruins in this series? It was, a day ago. There should have been a 6th, and we'll talk about that one, but I want to talk about all 5 now. The first key was top-end production, check. Despite Pasternak's world's shakiest 2-point game, Lindholm was good. He got to good areas of the ice. Geeky was good. He slotted another one. He's been producing and hot again. So I can't really blame the top end as a whole for a lack of production. Offense wasn't really the problem. Next was the activation of the youth. That was a little less good. The youth line, I don't think they were super blameworthy, but they didn't look great. They're on the smaller side, which against Buffalo's larger defensemen is a little harder to get to the greasy areas and get along the boards, which is kind of where Kuznetsov, I think, makes his money. Minton's a little better two-way, although Huzi's on the penalty kill, so they're both pretty competent. And Hagens, who knows about Hagens? He looked fine. I did see a take on, I think Instagram, maybe Twitter, somebody calling for Hagens to be scratched. I'm not I don't think it's anathema to say that, but I don't really see how it helps. I don't think he was the problem. I might try to break up the youth line just because it didn't seem like the production was there from them, but I'm just not sure keeping them all together is good matchups-wise. Next point was defensive flexibility. Not allowing someone who's cold, who's injuring the team, whose conduct or play is deleterious to stay in their position just for the sake of consistency. Was I right or was I right? Get him out. Get Peak out. I said it in the video, or this is also the video. I said it in that video. To me right now, this isn't a video because I'm living it. But what you just watched, I already shot. So that is a video. Theater of the mind. I'm not a Peak hater. I wasn't. I'm not, hating isn't really what I'm doing. I'm a Peak realist. If he has another performance like that, the series is over. The series might already be over. We'll talk about that in a second. But he cannot play in the next game. Can't. I can't fathom the reality where any sane person would possibly write the number 26 on the roster sheet for the next game. Because if you trot him out there and we lose, and I think it is more likely if he's out there, if you trot him out there and we lose, I've lost complete confidence in the head coach. You have a bunch of depth-ish defensemen, and he's one of them, and what's the difference with somebody else? I'll tell you one big difference. Jokiharju or Harris, I really think it should be Jokiharju, but Jokiharju or Harris hasn't screwed us yet. And Peak was unplayable. Oh, the holding penalty was chintzy. He could have kissed the ref on the lips and made him feel warm and fuzzy inside and got them all chocolates and brought them flowers and fluffed their pillows. I wouldn't care what good graces he put us in. He could have called the game from the ice. He was terrible. Terrible. It can't happen. It can't happen. He can't. I can't. Offensive flexibility. If you want. I like Reichel. I'm not convinced that Reichel's style of play works great here. Steve's maybe a little bit better, but who does he come in for? Hagens? I don't think Hagens was the problem. Like I said, offensive flexibility I don't think is really as big of a factor. The goal production was okay. 2 goals isn't great. I'm not counting the third one. 2 goals isn't great, but it's not 1. It's double that. It should have been enough in this game. The last of my existing keys was Swayman or bust. And I've seen a few takes. This is not an isolated one. where people are talking about, oh, our $8.5 million goalie can't do this, can't do that. People putting the blame on Swayman. The second Thompson goal, which was also the second goal, was not great. Swayman kind of cut the angle not really even too sharp, but he raised his pad where the pad has to stay on the ground. Kind of reminded me of Jordan Binnington's positioning, admittedly in a very different scoring situation in the Olympics when Jack Hughes scored the golden goal. It's not a great goal. It's not like, hit him in the glove and went through. I think it's a little bit better than that. If you watch that game, if you watch that hockey game that I just watched, that you just watched, that we just watched, if you watch that game and your takeaway is that Jeremy Swayman is culpable for the loss and that goaltending is the issue on this roster. And two, that somehow Jeremy Swayman not being... What's the alternative? Right? It's DiPietro. No, it isn't. Or Korpisalo. How are these Eunice Korpisalo burner accounts? Who likes him that much? So if you watch that game and you earnestly, from your heart, believe that Jeremy Swayman and the goaltending was the problem, there's the door. There's the handle. You can see an empty Fanta can, or maybe you can't. It would be a lot less embarrassing if you couldn't. But there's the door. And I want you to open it, and I want you to walk and run and to sprint in a straight line. Sprint in a straight line and do push-ups and take up art, painting, or do something. And you can keep watching hockey. This isn't like, oh, hockey isn't for you thing. It's just, I need you. You need to gain some sort of perspective on something. And I think outside is better than in for that. Because there's no way you could believe that. I simply refuse to believe that anyone earnestly believes that Jeremy Swayman is the reason we lost this game. The last key, to which I alluded, but which I did not actually codify, is physicality. We outhit the Sabres in the first period. Did you know that? Do you believe that? It's true. I don't believe it. Not all hits are created equal, Into the boards after the puck just gets dumped into the neutral zone is one thing. And then laying a guy out so that he's upside down and backwards is another. And I know I've heard a lot about Marco Sturm's comments about us being bigger and stronger than, oh yeah, that's bulletin board material. If an NHL team in the playoffs with a 20-year veteran head coach needs the words of way longer than 20 years, he's been coaching since before I was alive, needs the words of another head coach to motivate them, then the whole system top to bottom is screwed up. I don't believe for a second that Sturm said that so they came out harder. They wanted this. This was the first playoff game in a decade and a half. Of course they came out tough. And the Bruins kind of just took it. Zadorov had a good hit towards the end of the second period. There were some good sequences. But the physicality, we have to be big and strong. We do have... Sturm said we were bigger and stronger. We have to be bigger and stronger. The series will not work if we're not. I know that they got those gigantic defensemen, and Tage Thompson is huge, and that we have Zadorov and no other height quite comparable to that. We have Jeannot, he's big and he's tough. You got to find it. You got to try. You have to finish checks and go to the corner and keep the intensity up. I saw a video while I was editing the clips from my live watch. I saw a video of Pasternak talking about why we lost. I didn't even watch it. I don't care. I'm not going to address it. I know why we lost. I watched and he's part of it, and Peak is a bigger part of it, and Swayman's not really part of it. And I'm not even really that interested in the player-by-player thing. After every loss, I see that dude standing in front. I was a big fan of Pasta for captain. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it should be McAvoy, because after every loss, I see a video of that dude standing in front of some locker and just uttering platitudes. Like, oh, the effort's there. We're blocking shots. Oh, we're blocking shots. 37 was it today? We gave up 37 shots on goal? 38, I guess, because there was the empty net goal that wouldn't count for Swayman's. We put up 20 or so. That's the effort? Okay. This is going to be a long-ass video, but BS with SB, a lot of submissions today. I'm going to try to include one from every person who submitted, assuming you didn't say anything that I really can't include on YouTube, but let's get started. From Bruins Archives, insert 1,000-yard stare. Is that a bird? 4 on the same theme that I can knock out back-to-back. From Minton Enthusiast, genuinely, what does Sturm see in Peak? This crap is so frustrating to watch. From Silly Uli. Do we think Sweeney will finally get new defensemen after they sell the 20th game this season? Murat Kuznetsov enthusiast. Peak, Lindholm, Hampus, and Lorai need to go. And from Will.mc39, I cannot wait for the day Andrew Peak is no longer a member of the Boston Bruins. To address that kind of collectively, I'll say real quick, Hampus, Lindholm, I agree. Peak, I agree. Lorai, I don't know, I can take or leave him, but I don't think he's very good. I also don't think he's really a defenseman. I think he'd be better as a forward. He'd probably be better just somewhere else. So I wouldn't lose any sleep if he left. Anyway, I think regardless of the outcome of this series, and really regardless of the outcome of the next series, if somehow we get there and if somehow it's competitive, regardless of the outcome of this season, there needs to be a very clear message from ownership to the brass. Fix the defense or you're fired. And I know that the Lindholm contract, the Hampus Lindholm contract and the Elias Lindholm contract might be harder to move. I don't remember how much term Hampus has. But it should be move it or you're fired. If the contract's unmovable, then you're fired because that contract is unacceptable. It has to change. I would not have any problem with Peak cannot be in the lineup. I think a lot of people's jobs should lie on where they put Andrew Peak. If it's in the lineup, I think Marco Sturm should be on a hotter seat next season than he would be. If it's on the Boston Bruins next season, I think Neely and Sweeney should be on hot seats. But how much hotter can the seat get? It's like the frog in the boiling water. I think their seat might already be 3,000 degrees. They just don't notice because it's ever so slightly rising and no one really ever takes them to task for it. I hate to pick on one guy. And Andrew Peak by himself is not the sole reason we lost because there were other problems. But Andrew Peak was a liability. He cannot be on the ice again. A few Instagram stories now. From Minton Enthusiast. The Bruins need a captain so effing bad. Wow. Can we at least pretend like we believe in ourselves? Holy crap. I never really bought in too much to the captain's presence mattering or not mattering. I used to think that, if you have a couple alternates, if you have some veteran presences in the room, then you're okay. And maybe for other teams that can be true, not for the Bruins. Yeah, you're right. Just pick someone. Just pick either one of them. David or Charlie. Maybe Charlie, for what I've seen recently. I know Pasta had a good season and a lot of assists and a lot of primary assists and things that, like, on paper, read is good. But I feel like since the golden goal in Game 7 in 2024 against Toronto, I feel like I've never really seen him step up beyond that. From Maddie.P.Lover, Matthew Poitras. Yep, Boston is going to be a first-round exit team. Now, first of all, I don't want anyone, because there'll be a couple comments to this effect, I don't want anyone to go to anybody's account and harass them over saying stuff like that. One, because, come on, guys. Who cares? Second of all, if you don't think that's a reasonable mindset to have at this point, how naive are you? Oh, you have to stick with the team thick and thin. You're a fair-weathered fan. I'm not a fair-weathered fan. I'm stuck with this team. And I'm going to be. And I don't even think about the idea of leaving. My girlfriend's a diehard Red Wings fan. I lived in Michigan for 3 years. I could have pivoted. I'm never going to do that. I can't. That's not a choice. My soul roots for the Bruins. I'm compelled to root for the Bruins. And I don't regret it. But at the same time, I'm realistic about them. Yeah, this does not seem like a team that can bounce back from this. And we'll get into that in a second. But I think that's a reasonable take. And I think it's unfair to act like it's not. From Silly Yuli. The effort by the Bruins was absolutely abysmal and they do not deserve to play in the playoffs. It doesn't even look like they want to be there. I don't expect them to win the series, but I expected at least minimal effort to play some effing hockey. Keep it up and get swept. I hope they all enjoy their vacations. Apparently they don't believe in themselves. There's a perception, first of all, enjoy the vacation, thank you. There's a perception among the fans that the Bruins don't believe in themselves. If you think you're wearing a blue shirt and everybody compliments you on your green shirt, maybe you should look in the mirror. That or it could be an aquamarine shirt. I should have picked two colors that are further apart. Anyway, this team needs to come out in Game 2 with some conviction. Like Oli said, I didn't necessarily believe, yeah, I've got this series in the bag. I don't know. I don't make serious predictions because hockey's strange and so many things can happen. And what, am I going to predict against the Bruins? No. No, I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? Just a thought exercise to make it worse than the experience might be? No. So I didn't expect to win the series, but I agree. They don't deserve to be here right now. They really only kind of lucked into it. If other teams had done what they needed to do, had collapsed less fantastically than we had, we would not be in the playoffs. We might have 100 points and miss the playoffs at 100 points, which would be brutal, especially when you look at teams in the Pacific make it at 80. But hey, that's life. I don't think we should change the system at all, so I'm not saying that. But that's life. This team doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs. And if they're going to play like that, and if they're going to collapse like that, game after game after game, I feel like I watch this all the time, then yeah. And now, pivoting back to BS with SB, the spectrum of reactions you can have to this game. From Badal Abdi 37, Bruins in 6, we'll bounce back. I like the enthusiasm. I wasn't meaning to call people who still believe in this team naive. I will be there on Tuesday. I'll be there every game, and I will cheer for every goal except the terrible Pasternak one. I guess I did technically cheer. If you didn't notice, it was a little bit sardonic. But there's no reason to give up completely, even if intellectually you think that's where it's trending, because there's no fun in that. I said that earlier. I don't remember what video it was. I might have pulled the clip if I did. But you have to buy in. You have to allow yourself to believe and enjoy. Otherwise, it's an exercise in misery. So yeah, Bruins in 6. Why not? From Spencer Hates Hockey. Oh, like, it was okay, I guess. Parenthesis, lying, parenthesis. Yeah, I gotta put on a brave face for the world sometimes, and a brave face for the bees. I feel like the bees test the brave face more. From Fraser Minton Lover 93. Not to be negative Nancy. Nice, people don't say that enough. But the series is over. No way this team responds to that at all. Slightly less optimistic appraisal of the situation. I do not think an unreasonable one. I don't really believe in the resilience of this team terribly much. I believe in the resilience of its individual elements. McAvoy, he's a resilient dude. Swayman, I don't think this is going to shake him or anything. I don't think that the one maybe softer goal is going to affect him. I don't think the noise is even going to reach him. But I don't think you can blow a 2-goal lead in the third period by giving up 4 goals in 6.5 minutes. At least it was on the road. Is that the takeaway? Like, if this had happened at TD Garden, then yeah, the series would be dead and dusted. Not a phrase. Maybe. I don't know. Let's cling to that, I guess. And finally, from Silly Yoli. I don't know why, as fans, we have to get used to the Bruins blowing leads. Disappointing. Well, if you don't get used to it, you go insane. But yeah, this team lets us down. It lets us down a lot. And I never, ever want to hear from within the organization, which I feel like we don't. Thank goodness. I know the Leafs kind of have a problem with that. Not to dunk on the Leafs, but sometimes the Leafs talk about the Toronto media or the noise. I don't ever want to hear from the organization. And I don't really want to hear from other fans that like, oh, you got to stay positive about the team and everything. We give a lot to this team. People criticize when people say we when referring to their sports team. And first of all, it's a colloquialism, dude. Like, just lighten up a little. Not everything is that serious. But we invest money, literally, physical currency, and time and emotional energy, and a lot of emotional energy into these teams. It's, what time is it? Like 2 in the morning here? 2:16 in the morning, and I'm shooting a video about a very, very disappointing playoff game. And I'll always do this. I've actually only done this like 10 times or whatever, but I really enjoy this. I'm having fun, and it's worth it. And even with the losses, it's worth it, because I get to talk to you guys, and I get to talk about this. But don't act like we don't put anything into this. And you guys don't give us much back. We don't owe you really anything. You owe us about everything. Okay. I think there is one more thing we can do to try to get the course corrected and the ship righted, so to speak, before our game on Tuesday. And I think you know what it is. No me custode vindice di questa sacra terra. See y'all on Tuesday. Until then, go Bees.